Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you here. Could an XRP ETF be right behind the Bitcoin ETF? We'll see. We got this for you today. Bitcoin 90% adoption rate and price. Should we see the approval of the ETFs just days away? XRP $97.94. You're going to see how we get there, and it's not that hard to believe. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.74 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.1% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is 42,400 plus. Ethereum, 2301 and 18 cents is where we are right now. $2,301.18. Tether market cap is now 91.6 billion plus. Number 6 spot is XRP at 62 cents. We're off by 0.4 on the 24-hour. We're up by 0.2 on the 7-day. Careful what you call progress, they say. But you know what? This is the last day of 2023, ladies and gentlemen. I want to wish everyone a happy New Year's Eve and a very safe happy New Year's Eve, by the way. And I want to say that, look, I cover a lot of different opinions and perspectives on here, as well as sharing my own. It is a pleasure. It is an honor. It is a privilege that I get to do so. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And although I will cover all these different things, we will go through thought exercises. We will share these different ideas from people who think this about price or this about where the direction's going or the fundamental news versus the technical. And I have this to say. I have never known where things are going to go. But what I have known for certain is I'm here for it. This is my ride or die when it comes to investing. It doesn't have to be yours, but it's been mine for many, many years now. I'm very excited about this space and where it's going. And we have been through an incredible crypto winter that has been absolutely grueling. And a lot of people have gone away because of it. And that's okay. But I'm here for it. And one thing I'm absolutely sure of from what we're seeing out here in the fundamental news is that 2024 is going to be a much different year than 2023. Super excited that we're all here together. Range of price right now between 61 cents and 62 cents, almost 63 cents. We'll keep an eye on it as the day goes on. But I want to tell you this because this is important as we wrap out the end of the year here. Think of tax advantages. Think of your portfolio. Think of your 401k. This is the reason I share this stuff. Me and Mrs. Backup just recently did a very big power move. I told you I was going to get some exposure to Bitcoin on the edge of finding out about these approval of ETFs for a spot Bitcoin ETF. And we're doing that. But we're choosing to do that inside of iTrust because we can do it. And then we know that at 59.5, it's going to be a tax-free experience. Now, I want you to think about that as we move through this information today and listen to what you're going to hear Perry Ann Boring say about the price prediction of and the adoption rate of Bitcoin just 9 years from now. Think of this. Pretty remarkable. I want to get to that point in just 1 second, but I Trust Capital, the best gold and silver and crypto IRAs on the planet, bar none. Here is that clip with Perry Ann Boring. Let's listen. We won't listen to this. I don't know if it's the whole thing or not, but you know what? The whole thing's very good. Let's get going here.
Crypto has had a big year. Bitcoin is up over 150%. Much of that concentrated in this past fall's performance, a big Q4. The rally is largely on investor hopes of SEC approvals for spot Bitcoin ETFs. Joining us now with more on crypto and whether the good news is already priced in, Perry Ann Boring, founder and CEO of Chamber of Digital Commerce. Perry Ann, thanks for being here. So let's start there. Do you think that the good news is already priced in? There are some concerns out there that if and when the spot Bitcoin ETF is officially approved, that it would be kind of a sell on the news event. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't, because there is a lot of pent up demand for access to Bitcoin. You have to understand that the government has been putting its thumb on the scale of innovation and preventing publicly listed Bitcoin products from coming to market. Now that a spot Bitcoin ETF will be here soon, it's not an if event, it's a when event. There is a lot of people who want exposure who will now have access to it. When you add a small amount of Bitcoin to a portfolio, it increases the Sharpe ratio. And that is why there is so much interest in this asset class. I really like what Michael Saylor and Natalie Brunell said about Bitcoin earlier this week. They said Bitcoin's empowerment technology, and I'm going to add on to this. Bitcoin is going to empower financial advisors to allocate, again, because it increases the Sharpe ratio. And I think a case could even be made that if you're a fiduciary, you have a responsibility of adding Bitcoin to a portfolio because of how it performs.
Why does it invariably increase the Sharpe ratio, which for our viewers out there, it's a way that institutional investors calculate risk-adjusted returns? In including it, you also need to include some sort of hedging mechanism, maybe through a spot ETF or otherwise, to ensure that those returns are in fact adjusted according to their risk profile.
Take a listen.
Yeah, when you add a small amount of Bitcoin to an investment portfolio, the risk goes down as well as the volatility goes down. And that's why the Sharpe ratio goes up. But what's really important about a spot Bitcoin ETF is that it allows financial advisors to be able to allocate their clients' portfolios to this asset class. Prior to having a spot Bitcoin ETF, which is pending, it's imminent, financial advisors couldn't really help their clients navigate this new asset class. Investors would have to leave the financial advisory and go navigate this ecosystem on their own. So now this empowers the financial advisors to service their clients directly on this new asset class of Bitcoin.
Okay, I mean, we don't know what the future of Bitcoin trading looks like in terms of it going up or down. But in terms of just the desire of institutions to buy Bitcoin, what are you hearing in terms of just that marginal demand that is out there? Do you have any numbers or figures in terms of just the people who haven't been able to get exposure to this asset class that may soon want to?
Yeah, we use valuation models to try to understand what is the value of Bitcoin today. We all know what the price is. It's what it's trading for on exchanges, which operate 24/7. But the real question that we need to understand, investors need to understand, is what is the value? We use 4 different valuation models. Today, it has the price of Bitcoin currently valued between $100,000 and $210,000 per Bitcoin. We also apply an S-curve analysis to look at the long-term adoption of Bitcoin. Currently, about 40% of U.S. households have already allocated and own some form of cryptocurrency today. We are on track for 90% adoption by 2029. Once we hit that 90% adoption, prices could go as high as $1 million a coin. Because again, Bitcoin has that limited supply, which is a key feature of this technology.
So there's a lot of ifs there, but I just got to ask, if that's the case, what happens when governments introduce their own digital currency?
Well, I think we all know what happens there. 1, it makes transactions a lot simpler. And 2, CBDCs are not the same product as a Bitcoin investment ETF, a spot ETF. Let's understand that. But think of those numbers for a moment. Now, we're not going to hold Perry Ann's feet to the fire that she's right about those numbers. But let's just, for a thought exercise here, as we do often, let's say those numbers are half of that, right? Let's say it's not $1 million. It's in 9 years. It's $500,000. Would you be upset? No, I don't think that you would, and I know I wouldn't either. But this is why I chose to do a power move for myself, not financial advice, just sharing my digital perspectives and moves. This is why Mrs. Backup and I decided to take advantage of getting some exposure to Bitcoin through our iTrust IRA. So it would be tax-free when we get that experience of that gains, whatever it ends up being. Very excited for the future. Then there was this comment right here. Listen to this gentleman talk about whether there'll be an XRP ETF in the future. I think he says it pretty clear.
In the future, once more crypto are deemed non-securities, you're going to see SPY ETFs for, say, metaverse or NFT space or games. You know, just thinking out loud right now, right after Ethereum SPY ETFs are approved, well, there's Ethereum futures ETF, futures-based ETF, and spot ETFs. But I think right afterwards, we're probably going to see an XRP one, because XRP was just deemed a non-security, right?
It sure was. Look at this gentleman's face right here.
Right, so it makes sense that there will be an XRP SPY ETF soon, and then and as time goes on, I think we'll get more, and then fund managers will be smart about it and, you know, put it together. There may be a crypto one where it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP or something like that.
Right, more like an index fund, right? You know, of course there's going to be these things because they're building out this market, this new digital asset class to mirror the traditional market structure. It's not complicated, is it? It really isn't complicated. You can see it coming together quicker more than ever. And here, XRP ATF may be on the cards as Grayscale sponsors XRP price display together with Bitcoin. And we saw this and covered this. Remember this diagram? We saw this here. It was sponsored by Grayscale. They showed Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. So it is suggestive, you know, from the diagram that if that's what Grayscale is sponsoring, that may be what the products are in the very near term, right? So very excited to see how this all unfolds. But looking forward, there was an analyst that suggested that we could see an $8 trillion target for the crypto market cap. So that's everything in crypto, right? The entire market cap. In fact, it's this, right? When I call out $1.74 trillion cryptocurrency market cap today, they're now saying that, you know, by 2025, it could be 8 trillion, could be the number that we're reading every morning. Now, I've read a number here in this space over 3 trillion at a point. And now we're down to 1.74, right? So this gets extremely interesting here. But you have to ask yourself, and the first thing I thought, and I'm sure you're probably thinking it right now too, you know, is how much of that 8 trillion would end up in XRP, right? Especially understanding it is the only digital asset with legal clarity. Well, I decided to go to XRP LHQ, where they have the XRP Calculator and many other incredible things that you can find on this site. It's a remarkable information site. You should go check it out in resources. They have the XRP Calculator that was put together by Susan Athey, Board of Directors at Ripple, Robert Mitchnick, Stanford Graduate School of Business, used to be at Ripple, and now the head of digital assets at BlackRock. They put this calculator together. They know what they're doing. And I said for an exercise, why don't I just put out here, they start off with 19 trillion as a default in here, and a much higher number on the store of value in USD. I moved it all to 1 trillion. So total daily transactions, 1 trillion. Store of value in US dollars, 1 trillion. That's where I have it, right? 48 billion in supply. That's how I got it here. And I left all these three in default numbers where they had it, right? I hit calculate it and come up with a $97.94 XRP. Should XRP capture $1 trillion in daily volume and have $1 trillion in a store of value, right? That's what I put in there. We'd have a $97 plus XRP. When you think about it, look, and I'm just coming at this from a practical angle. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? And it says here, if you want to do half a trillion, you put 0.5. So why don't we do this together right here? Let's cut it all in half, right? Let's cut it all in half, 0.5. And let's see what we get here. A $48.97 XRP is what we get. Who's upset about that? Not this guy. I can tell you that. So we're talking about capturing half a trillion, right, in volume every day, and then store of value half a trillion. We're still looking at a $48.97 XRP. would not be upset about that, understanding that we could be at a $8 trillion market cap within a year, within 12 months. Pretty remarkable to think of it. Then there was this. Let's hear this clip first, then we're going to talk about it.
And, this guy sells it to that guy. That's essentially, what the stock exchange does. So if you can have a common ledger to be able to exchange those IOUs at, then that certainly makes sense. And there's examples of Korean banks partnering with local, Bitcoin companies for the settlement. People like the IMF or World Bank or these kind of people are always talking about these sort of blockchain settlement systems. NASDAQ is involved in I think doing some trials with Ripple as well. So, this guy.
NASDAQ doing some trials with Ripple as well, are they? Now, I wasn't able to find something that absolutely confirmed that, but let me tell you what I did find. NASDAQ is using R3's Corda for managing digital assets. This was back from April 29th, 2020. Okay. Well, we already have known for years that R3's Corda platform can and does use XRP for settlement, as well as other assets as well, like XDC and others. So very exciting to see that interconnection between R3, knowing that they were a former Ripple partner and they had to go to court and sue to break that agreement. But we know XRP is a viable asset on the Corda platform should they want to use it. So very exciting to see that kind of 3-degree connection there, right? So we'll keep an eye on it. Almost as exciting as this is. I cannot get over this prediction from Monica Long here. I just think it's fantastic. And as we close out 2023, I am inspired by the bold predictions from Monica Long for Ripple in 2024. Looking forward to a great year ahead, and I really am. And again, as she said, and I closed the year out fittingly enough with her first prediction in 2024 is that crypto will break the speculative hype cycles that have defined the booms and busts for the industry since Bitcoin's invention. Before the next crypto summer, we as an industry will break the cycle by paving foundation for real-world utility at scale, which entails solving for compliance, usability, integration with existing systems. The biggest breakthrough in 2024 will be pioneering compliance for decentralized finance. I just don't think you could say it any better. And the other areas that she touches are amazing too, but that's the one I want to close on. This is the end of 2023. Make it a safe and happy year. We have so much to look forward to in 2024, no doubt about it. And join us at digperspectives.com. Go to digperspectives.com, click on the Freedom Zone, join us for next to nothing for the very real conversations we're having that we would dare not touch on social media. Not to mention the fact that this is some of the greatest people in here that you want to be around, with the smartest minds. They have some of the most incredible insights. You're going to love it. Join. It's next to nothing. You won't be sorry you did. We're having conversations again that, you just can't have, because freedom of speech, it only exists in the Freedom Zone. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.